Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Fresh Bunch. Today we have Mimi Pacheco remotely. We have Joelle on the production and Ryan Black, Mike. And our guest today is someone that pretty much everyone knows. It's Sue McLeary, Passion Flower Sue, world famous on the internet, YouTube, and every other way. She's an educator, a writer, and just an amazing person to watch do her craft. I had the pleasure personally, the first time meeting her in person at Fresh Fest, but I had been watching some of her tutorials and stuff that's on the internet. And I don't think a week goes by where someone doesn't say that they learned something, someone that we're connected to doesn't say that they hadn't learned something from Passion Flower Sue. So I think it's a very special guest that we have today, and I'm very excited to hear her story and her journey. And let's get it going. Let's get it started.
Right on. Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. That's a really nice introduction. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The pleasure is ours. We're very excited to have you on. He wasn't lying. The world definitely knows you. I wonder if there is a way to track that in a way to see how many people in the industry or have studied in some way from you in one of your lessons or one of your classes and are still applying that. It has to be in the thousands.
Yeah,
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, it's around there, which is crazy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But just watching you with the wire, just how you created, like just twisting this wire in such a way and have these florals kind of like floating in air. And then to watch other people's faces when you were doing it. And then some of them were fortunate enough to do it along with you. Some of your big fans got to actually do it in person with you. And that was a whole nother fun thing to watch, because it's kind of like taking your kids to Disney and watching them, they get so excited about seeing their favorite characters and stuff. It's kind of like that's the eyes that I saw. That's the people's eyes. Yeah.
It's definitely technique with heart. Like, that's the best way I could explain it, because it's too meticulous to the T. Like, everything has its purpose watching Sue. But then at the same time, you still see the art, like the heart of her art coming out of it. So it's really cool. Like, I agree with Mike. I saw her and Talia from Petunias like together.
Oh, especially her. Oh my God. Yes, with the flower crown.
Mike's right.
Yeah.
Every single, our last two podcast guests have both said that they studied you. So yeah.
Oh,
so yeah, I can't wait to hear all about it too.
Thank you. Where do you want me to start? Like Baby Sue or what?
Yeah.
Baby Sue.
Baby Sue.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see Baby Sue with a bunch of flying flowers around her.
Yeah. How did flowers get into your life? How did you become how did you find that specialty, and how did you become an educator? The whole thing. Let's
Yeah. Okay. So I've had to think about this a lot because I have been asked, and when I started to write, I really had to think about how did I become so passionate about this very specific thing? I think growing up, I had flowers around me all the time. My mother was a master florist. She was a master gardener. And so flowers and plants and the nomenclature and all of that was always part of my orbit. But I was a creative kid, but really looking back, I struggled with ADD. And so I could never quite find my slot. I kind of flopped around trying different creative endeavors, and I just never kind of locked into one. And that continued into my 20s. I went to school for physiology. I thought I would be a physical therapist because I figured I needed something reliable, to focus on. And I was interested in health and fitness at the time. And then a friend asked me to do her wedding flowers. So I had been making jewelry as one of my creative hobbies. I was making wedding jewelry for her. And then she hadn't hired a florist, asked me to be her florist. When I was designing her flowers, it just was like an instant connection. And I felt like I'd finally found my creative path. It really is that simple. I just instantly felt this gut recognition that flowers were my medium. And that was quite a while ago. I think because I was in my later 20s and had really kind of, flopped around a lot, like I said, I felt sensitive to people's opinions when I said, I want to be a florist. The culture and my parents and my friends were saying things like, oh, you're never going to make any money. Like, are you sure? There's nothing to it. It's like essentially like a low skill, low wage service job is what the culture told me, when I shared my
You got to
excitement
work
about
weekends. You got to work holidays. Yeah.
which is true. I mean,
Yeah.
that is true. But at the time, the culture wasn't really saying that florists were artists or florists were creatives or florists had a point of view. But I recognized like instantly there was something deeper to this. And it felt like any other art form with like principles of design and like a richness and a history of craftsmanship and all of that. So I think like right away, I had a chip on my shoulder to kind of prove to myself and like prove to the larger culture that florists are, they have something, they have an expression to share,
Yeah.
And as I looked around, like I started to find evidence that people were approaching floristry as an art form. People like Francoise Weeks, who just had a very unique point of view. At the time, like blogs were full of just like hydrangea balls and like, really tight form linear stuff. And everything kind of looked the same. And when I came upon her, it was so radically different. And it occurred to me like, okay, this is an example of somebody who's making a living, doing events and teaching, but doing floristry in her unique way and not trying to fit a mold or like, she's in creative control. Like the client isn't telling her what to do. She's telling the client, this is what I do, and do you want to participate? So anyway, I dove into floristry and I just took every learning opportunity I could. I got a job in retail and worked there for years, then started freelancing and did a lot of weddings for other people, and then opened my own studio. But the whole time I felt kind of this frustration, like I wanted to participate in floristry more than I wanted to kind of like flower for clients. So I kept finding myself in teaching roles until it finally just like the scales tipped and I was teaching full time and not doing weddings anymore.
Were you constantly like saying no to things to get to that point?
Well, there was some scary moments there, financially making the transition. But what happened was, I think it was some luck and some tenacity, but in 2018, I partnered with a marketing company, a film and marketing company, and we tested online classes. So we started with 4 because that's all I could afford to produce,
What were the first 4 classes?
It was called Learn to Love.
Okay.
And it was 4 classes. There was headpieces, like modern corsages. Oh gosh, what were there? I don't remember. It was all wearables stuff.
That's okay. Yeah. I'm curious how far the transition has gone from the first videos to now. It seems like it's still pretty much in the same.
Oh my gosh.
Same lane.
Yeah, I mean, it has. I've done classes on every topic you can imagine because now there's two kind of arms to my online class situation. I have a membership. So in the membership, there's like 150 classes in there now. So from wearables all the way to, large scale installations. And then I have standalone classes. So those are like a la carte and people can just purchase the 1 or 2 they're interested in. But yeah, since 2018, because that first test, worked, it gave me kind of the guts to keep pushing and transition completely from events to education.
Was your book already out when you started teaching?
The book happened right after I filmed my first 4 classes. So I think the publisher reached out in 2018. We worked on it in 2019, and then it came out in 2020, just in time for the world to shut down. Yeah, that was kind of sad. But yeah, it all kind of happened in the same time frame.
Wow.
At what point did you find the specialty of the floating flowers and the flower crowns? And that's the wearables.
Yeah. So what happens to me is I find something that I find interesting, or I find something like corsages that feel so dated. And then I like test and tweak and keep pushing and trying to find like the solution, if you will, or like something better. So I'll find myself like for a year or more time just focusing on kind of like one technique. And like right now it's wire armature. So it just kind of happened. Sometimes it's like a student has a pain point I'm trying to solve, or I see something in the industry that I feel like, that could be better, that could be more streamlined, or that could be simpler. And then that leads me to like a testing period. And it can be a short testing period or long. Right now, I'm just like it's my wire era, like
right.
Beyonce.
Right. Yeah.
Or, yeah. So I'm just having a wire deep dive right now. That just kind of happens naturally.
You can hardly see it. Like if you're like 10, 15 feet away, you can't even see the wire. You just see the flowers. You can't even see it.
And you use an unconventional wire, right? Like your wire is not floral wire, right?
Right. Yeah. So I've been frustrated for a while with like the supplies that are available to us. And I'm always pulling from jewelry supplies. I don't like aluminum wire because it's too soft. So it's really hard to support flowers in midair. So then, that leads me to like, okay, I'm going to go to my jewelry supply world and start testing and figuring out what gauge is perfect and what brand has, the right rigidity. And yeah, I just love I love testing.
How many
tweaking and testing.
Wire brands have you gone through to test? How many do you think?
I don't even want to know. I don't want to know how much money I've spent. Yeah, I will spend like my last penny testing. It's just, it's an obsession. So
is there hope of like a Passion Flowers to brand wire? Oh, really? Yes. Cool.
Yeah. Actually, maybe not a wire specifically, but a armature that I hope will, the thing I'm hoping is that this little armature, people will recognize that it can replace more conventional and more like tedious methods.
Yeah.
But I'm still in I have the patent. I've applied for the patent. I've applied for the trademark, but I'm in the like R&D. Yeah. R&D phase where I'm waiting.
Lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of waiting.
That's expensive. But trademarking and patenting, that's a big investment.
It's so worth it. Sue.
It's so worth it
because the demand out there is big.
To make those investments, you got to believe,
I believe.
It's got to be, that's great.
I applied for a U.S. patent because the international is just scary, but I want to have them made in the U.S. So I'm hoping I can kind of, just keep it all here, and maybe I don't have to do the big expense right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you put that like as on a web shop, or are you going to supply wholesale florists with some product?
I'd like to do both.
That's a big thing. There's not too many new things coming in. That's going to be good.
I hope
Great
so.
idea. I like it.
Thank you.
And you're already set up. You're already set up to roll it out. You have an audience. You have your workshops. You're all around at all the shows and things like that. It'll get out there. I think you can definitely feel confident in that.
Thank you. I have a lot to figure out. I just hired a fractional CFO, so I feel pretty adult. Yeah,
that's interesting. Somebody else was telling me about that recently. That somebody just part-time to help you with that stuff. That's
what I was going to ask. Yeah, fractional means part-time CFO.
Yeah, like a freelance CFO that can get you rolling and like kind of walk you through the different phases and keep you on budget.
How did you find that person? Through LinkedIn?
Through a friend, actually, who worked for IDEO, which is I think they're a creative consulting company in California. I'm not quite sure. But this woman is great because she's used to working with creatives who are like allergic to spreadsheets and just don't go there. And that's me. Like I'm terrified of messing up because there's so much on the business side that I'm not familiar with. So hiring her makes me feel more confident that, I can focus on the creative stuff and she can help me stay on track. So yeah, that's the plan.
I was saying, I think that's a problem with a lot of creative people is, the back end, the business side, the money part of it is not always their favorite part of it, and or maybe not even a part of it that they have that are confident in themselves to
But it's necessary.
manage. But it's very necessary.
Yeah,
it's so very necessary.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And
I can appreciate that.
It's protecting your creative side.
Yeah.
Because the burnout is real when it comes to the numbers or the whole, and your path is so unconventional, your way of like your business model, and to be so successful in it, I would say you are the number one in the US where people would say, okay, I'm taking a class with Passion Flower Sue. And I mean, I've been in this industry for way too long. And it's been a while, and you've put in your dues, so it's good. Yeah. I know that you recently were at AIFD and everybody was like, oh my God, she's here.
That feels weird.
International, you saw international people coming up to her from all around the world. They were looking at her.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that's the beauty of the internet. Like now she's accessible to everybody. Can you imagine back in the day, like where it was not such a big thing? And I think Sue was in the game at the right time too, I remember there was a lot of people online trying to get into that, and to have a membership service, that's great, because that's also not something that a lot of people would have thought of.
I think it's luck. Like there's a lot of talented people, but you have to make the right partnerships. And I don't know, when you feel the time is right, you just kind of have to do that scary jump.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Timing, luck, it's all part of it.
Yeah, it's all factors in for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there a limit? Like, do you have like a waiting list of people that want to take classes? Do you
Well, so the virtual studio, we used to just have it open all the time. And there's like two schools of thought. You have online classes that you create and they're evergreen and people can just register whenever. And then the other thought is that's kind of chaotic and there's people coming in and out and needing like support all the time. And it's hard to like address everyone's needs when you're onboarding. So we've switched our virtual studio to a once a year enrollment period. So we can like onboard people and get them acclimated, because there's a lot to look at when you get in there, because it's been 6 years of content collecting. So there's that. So that does have a wait list. And then I do have standalone classes, because I also feel strongly that like if somebody sees something and they're interested and they want to learn it right away because they have a wedding next week, I don't want them to like, oh, sorry, you have to wait until September for the enrollment. So I try to put like my newest stuff and the things that I think people might be like lurking for and wanting to learn right away. I tend to leave that stuff in the a la carte class menu.
Smart.
Do you have new people who are aspiring to be florists or creative florists or studio florists or brick and mortar florists, or do you have a big mix of all of that?
It's a big mix. It's pretty diverse. That can be tricky because, of course I'm trying to like create content that offers solutions to like what my people need in the moment. But my people are so different. Like I'll have farmer florists in the virtual studio. I have wedding florists. I do have some retail. I have some hobbyists who are just getting used to this whole new world, trying to decide if they want to be part of it. So I try to like address all of those different groups. But I'd say primarily I have studio wedding florists. So the topics I focus on are pretty much studio wedding florists. And then the aesthetic. The people that come to me tend to share an aesthetic, which is like a natural kind of garden style aesthetic. Okay. But I think more and more like form linear and like Ikebana inspired things are interesting to people, and like working with minimal, more negative space and more interesting materials and showing off the forms of those. I think that's kind of where things are going.
I know the transition came organically for you over time to go into teaching, but was it a hard transition, like switching your brain over from creative to education, or was it pretty easy for you to just continue to?
I wouldn't say easy, but I think my personality and like the way what I like to do is more suited to education, and it always was. I was just trying to like be a wedding florist, and I did it for many years and I did enjoy it while it was new. but my interests and what I like to do is way more suited to education. But there were, several years there where I think I was a pretty crappy teacher, because I didn't understand like the framework of a good lesson,
Right.
Like I kind of showed people how to make a dish, if you will. I didn't show them how to cook, So more and more I'm trying to articulate processes that are repeatable that people can take and like really start to create with more confidence.
Yeah.
Instead of saying like, well, this is how you make this design.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's been hard, but I don't know. I mean, you have to teach to get better and you have to speak in public to get better. And both things were terrifying at first, but they've gotten more and more comfortable because I kind of had to get over myself. Like, okay, yeah, you're an introvert. You have ADD. You're going to say wrong things sometimes.
Right.
You might even like faint on stage. I don't know, but you gotta.
Has that happened?
Anyway, almost.
Oh shit! What
Yeah.
stage?
I'm not telling.
Okay. I hope it wasn't Fresh Fest.
Fresh Fest? No, no. Actually, when I presented at AIFD in Las Vegas, I had COVID, but I didn't know it.
Oh.
And I felt so out of body. I felt like my head was floating separately from my body, and then they're like, okay, now you go, like out you go. And I had that feeling like right before you're going to faint, like, but I did it. I don't know how I did it, but it happened.
Wow.
Yeah. I was supposed to go for 45 minutes. I think I only did like 35 minutes. Actually, one of my models did faint on stage during that presentation.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Did she have COVID too?
I don't know. I think she needed snacks. Like she was tiny, tiny. But anyway, yeah, I got through it.
I forget how the conversation came up, but when we were talking with our mutual friend Andy Arthur, he's like, "Oh, you should have told me she was coming down. She's my best friend," and I was like so excited to hear that. Are you not far from his wholesale house? Is that?
I'm kind of far. So I've been a Mayesh person because, well, for lots of reasons. I love the family. I've collaborated with them for years. But the Mayesh branch in Detroit is 25 minutes from my studio. So, that's my go-to. Nordely is also excellent. And like Mayesh and Nordely, you could order from both and get different cool stuff. But yeah. Nordely for me is like an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
So, and because I don't do weddings and, I'm not getting deliveries, I'm only shopping when I have intensives or when I'm preparing for a class. So I'm shopping like 3 times a month, 4 times a month. So yeah.
Actually, that's where I met him. I met him at Mayesh the first time. Connor was playing in a hockey tournament up there in Detroit. And I had some time to kill and I went to visit, different wholesalers and stuff. And that's the first time I met Andy was when he was at the Mayesh location.
Yeah, he's great.
I don't know how many years ago that was, but that was.
He's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's another one of your big fans.
I'm a fan of his too.
I don't know how many people in the podcast know Andy, so I hope.
Sourced by Commerce Drew.
Sourced for you by Commerce Drew on the Instagram.
Say him by his real name.
If you want, well, listen, if you want to see a passionate wholesaler, if you want to see somebody who is all about the cool shit, you need to tune in and watch him because, as long as I've been doing stuff in this business, I for sure have learned a lot from him.
Yeah.
For sure have learned a lot from him. They made me aware of things that were never on my radar.
He definitely seems like someone who loves what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. As it should be. I mean, sometimes you find people working in this business who don't even really like flowers. I'm convinced of it. It's just something to sell. Yeah. It's something to import. It's something to sell. It's something to do, but it's not like, I don't know. That's always disappointing.
To me, it's crazy that they last so long. Because I remember working with somebody and she's like, I hate flowers. I hate plants. And I'm like, why are you doing this? And she didn't. She left. But I just, you are a lot of people that are in this industry that are like, I can't. Don't give me a flower. Don't gift me a plant. Don't give me a bottle of wine.
Crazy.
And it doesn't matter what segment you're in either. A lot of people in different segments are maybe very just comfortable, but not happy, I would say, in what they're doing. And,
That's in any industry.
Any industry,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
I
for
do
sure.
feel really grateful. Like if I hadn't found this, like if my friend hadn't asked me to do flowers, I have no idea what I'd be doing right now.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that keeps me engaged is that I feel really grateful. I just feel like I found my thing. It's like finding your soulmate or something.
And that attracts people
So.
to you as well. That people like to be around positivity and that kind of good energy, I think. And it's a good way to bring people into you.
So Sue, like a lot of the trends that are out there, I think are people following your trends. Where, if you wouldn't be in the flower, where would you search for those inspirations?
Well, I've always loved fashion, so I always follow fashion designers and accessory designers. I love like looking at sculpture, at art, nature, of course, architecture. But I think like fashion, jewelry design, accessory design, that's probably like my favorite show is Project Runway, even though, it can be kind of silly or dramatic or whatever. I just love watching people make things out of their creativity. I think it's just like the best thing. And then my other favorite show is Chef's Table, because the same thing, it's people expressing themselves through their medium.
Right.
So
Has there been
cooking.
Any talks of a Passion Sue show, or anybody ever approach you about that idea?
No. I had a few little things that were supposed to happen around COVID that were canceled, like little appearances or whatever, but no show. I would love to see a Chef's Table for florists.
Yeah.
Not that I have to be in it, but I would love just that to happen.
That would be great.
Yeah, because it's beautifully done.
We'll just film the behind the scenes of Fresh Fest next time, and that's a lot of drama and a lot of artistry.
Yes.
You could definitely
and a lot of beauty.
Drama. If you could like really reality TV show that up and like, oh, will the party even happen? And all the stuff that went wrong. You could really sell that.
Just put the driver cam in the trucks of flowers and see the poor drivers trying to get to and how many phone calls he got. Like, where are you? Where are you? I'm 5 minutes away. Really, it's like 30 because of traffic. Yeah.
I would love to see the confessionals of the designers saying what they were really thinking.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, you have the theme for next year.
There you go.
Yeah.
I have a question on your education. When you're educating people not only to create these amazing pieces, how do you educate them to make money? How do they learn that? They don't. So it's on them to figure that part out.
I know what I'm good at. I'm not good at the money side. So like for me, it's creativity, it's method, it's technique, it's process, it's streamlining, reducing, things like that. I do, like when they ask money questions, it always comes up. I give them my best answer, like the proper markups and calculating your overhead and your labor charges and all of this. I can give them probably what they would Google and find, honestly. But in terms of like business savvy, I'm not the gal. But there are people out there who do a great job, at that.
It's got to be so hyper specific, right? Like everybody's in a unique scenario in a different location with a different market. Everybody's going to have a different price for what you're making.
Yeah.
It's true.
But learning what Sue does, learning what you do, well, at least what I watched you do at Fresh Fest, because I was just wowed about it. It's such a big investment in time to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you learn how to do it, then you got to keep practicing to keep up with it. Mm-hmm. And then you get an order, or you get somebody says, hey, I'd love for you to create this for me. Somehow you got to include all of those things in what you charge, So I was just wondering how that works.
For sure. So I think like the short answer, people usually ask this around wearables. They're like, oh, it looks so time consuming. It looks so laborious. How do you charge for that? So I do charge a larger labor fee. So like if you're in the wedding world, you might charge 30% or 40% to make a centerpiece. So for like a headpiece, maybe you charge 60%, something like that. But I also think you have to kind of flex to your markets, like what your market will bear. But also, it's like, a painting. It's like a little piece of floral art. So it's not just the cost of the wire and the flowers and the time. It's more like your artistry has to be compensated for as well. So it is very individual. So some of the things I make are really like very time consuming. Like, I'm not going to say they're not, but most of the things I make are intended to look impressive, but take less time and like less materials and less waste. So like the bouquet armatures, once you do it 2-3 times, you can do them as fast as any other hand-tied bouquet. And you can charge more. You should charge more because it is, unusual and artful, and it takes, like, you had to invest in your training to learn how to make it.
Yeah.
But the things I focus on, I don't want people to be fiddling in their studio for 5 hours to make an armature. I want the armature to be made in like 10 minutes and then flowered in like an hour and look amazing. So that's my goal. But it does take a little practice for sure.
Yeah, it's like when you get an AIFD letters, it doesn't automatically start meaning you're getting more money right away. You have to be confident in your new abilities and charge more.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's doable. And so let me ask you, so do you like have other flower influencers, let's say on social media, whatever, that you follow, that you?
For sure.
So who are your top 3 that you follow?
Oh my gosh. I follow everyone, I tell you. I follow so many people, I don't even see anything anymore. But front of mind right now, I mean, I just love Bart Hessam from Australia.
He was you just did a session with him at AIFD, right?
I helped another master florist. So I was in the back room helping Pirjo. She's from Finland.
Okay.
But I recently took a 3-day class with Bart. He came to Ohio, actually, which was great. And I've been next to him in workrooms several times. He just has such a clean aesthetic, and like everything is just placed just so. There's nothing wasted. There's no wasted space. There's no flower, wasted behind another. Everything is so beautifully placed. His proportions are incredible, and he's a great teacher. He has like a repeatable process. He's really well versed in the golden ratio, which is like my favorite thing to talk about. So like the proportions that are found in nature, and how to use those proportions and those size differences to like allocate color and size and proportion in your work. I think he's just top, and he's the nicest person too. So he's a real favorite. I mean, Gregor Lurch is one of my mentors. Hitomi Gilliam is one of my longtime mentors. I just really love how generous of spirit she is. Like, and I kind of like, from watching her, I have this little phrase that I keep in my head, catch and release. So you catch an idea, you improve it, and you release it. You catch a new one, you improve it, you release it. And so it's just this constant like flow of creativity. That the other side of that is like catching an idea and like, hoarding it and saying, oh, it's mine. And, I want it for myself. The more
She's
you
so
release,
humble.
the more you get.
She's so humble in person that it's like, you don't think, you'd be like, hi, I love watching. She's like, really? Like, she's so sweet. I like her a lot.
She's one of my favorite people. Yeah. And she's in her 70s, and she's always like, her curiosity has not wavered. Like, it continues she's just an open, like, curious person who's always looking to improve upon something.
Yeah.
Which is like total goals in my mind, So, yeah.
So another topic that, a lot of people think of you is when you talk about the hydration chamber. I know the hydration chamber, I think, came from Germany. I don't even know where it came from, but it's an interesting, honestly, every time I think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, but what if it doesn't work, right? Like, has it ever not worked? Because you got like some expensive flowers in those hydration chambers. Or can you maybe touch upon what the hydration chamber, why it does work?
Yes. So I laugh every time because it's an old traditional floristry technique, and also chefs use it. So like when you go into the grocery store and you go to like the vegetable section and the herbs, every so often there's that spray of water, right? So that like the lettuce and the parsley and the cilantro can like take in that moisture and stay good looking so that people buy them, right? The alternative, if those lettuces and things were hanging out in a refrigerator not getting sprayed, they would get wilty and dry, and they would just look awful. So it's the same concept. Lay makers use it, like traditional floristry in Asia, in Hawaii, in India. So you'll see like people in the flower markets with like just tens of thousands of like tubs of jasmine blooms, and they're just sprayed with water and they're like tinted with plastic. So I saw all of that, but really what I saw was when I studied with Gregor Lurch the first time, he was making these beautiful armature bouquets with like jasmine vine and clematis and things like that. They're not bouquets that are stored in a water source. Their stems are not in a water source. So he would spray the whole thing, put it in an airtight container, and then the next day it would come out looking even better than it looked the day before. And so I knew, from my training that I could do that with corsages and crowns and boutonnieres. But when I saw like whole vines and like clematis and stuff like that looking great after being in the hydration chamber, I started thinking about it in a broader way. Mm-hmm. And then I started talking to friends about it and realized that like, yeah, florists do this, but there's no like name for it. So how do you teach something that doesn't have like a name? So I started calling it hydration chamber, and people tease me like online, like caterers will be like, oh my God, like what a name for just a Tupperware container, like how precious, and but I'm not trying to claim it as mine. I'm just trying to like give it words so I can like pass it on to newer florists.
Right.
Because I was finding that newer florists were like staying up all night to make their personals, or like waking up on Saturday morning to make the corsages, because they figured that the flowers needed to be as fresh as possible, like in water as possible in their buckets before making the wearables. But the opposite is true and better, to make everything ahead of time, let it take in water throughout, through all of its surfaces, plump it up, and then deliver it after it's spent time in the airtight container.
Do you deliver in the hydration? Do you deliver in the hydration chamber?
So no, when I was focused on weddings, I would make all my corsages. I would keep them in one big Tupperware, all hydrated, and then Saturday morning, I would take them out and put them in the delivery boxes. So I used cake boxes with shredded paper at the bottom. And so I would put them all in there. I would spray them. If it was like a hot day, I would spray them with a finishing spray. So like the Crown and Glory, for instance, or Finishing Touch, but Crown and Glory primarily is the one I used. And that's an anti-transparent. So that like plugs all the pores in the flowers. So it traps all the water inside. And I tell you, like,
Mimi got real excited when you said that. Her Kreisel side came back out.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you used to work for Kreisel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I have a question. Oh my God. Okay. So, all right. So Crown and Glory is an anti-transparent, right? It seals all the pores, keeps the water in. Finishing Touch, I'm not sure if that's a Kreisel product.
No, it's not. It's a Floral Life product, but it's a different product. And, Ralph Giordini just did a great session on explaining both. So the anti-transparent doesn't let it release. So the water is stored inside, like the actual hydration of the thing. And the Finishing Touch is more, I don't want to say exactly what because Kreisel does not have a product that is similar to Finishing Touch. So I don't want to say something that's wrong. But yes, Finishing Touch does do a different thing, and it also hydrates as well.
Yeah.
So it's a different situation, and you would use them for different flowers. For instance, the Crown and Glory, which belongs now to, I do believe Floral Life bought it because it was going around. Kreisel has their own product called Kreisel Glory, but it all does the same
close.
thing. Kreisel has something called Hawaiian Floral Mist, which is my favorite because it does have active nutrients. So active nutrients are going to prolong the life as well. So I always thought that. I was like, I need to ask Sue if her reason for the hydration chamber is because she's anti-preservatives. But I did see you using Crown and Glory before, so it was really interesting there.
Yeah. So like I said, I do go down rabbit holes. And I did have a rabbit hole. A lot of people were challenging me over the Crown and Glory. Like, it's got silicone in it. You probably shouldn't compost your flowers if it has that on it. And I do compost my flowers. So I thought about that, but no, I use both. So for me, the hydration chamber allows you to make things ahead of time so that you can like have a better workflow that's not so crazy. You're not making things Saturday morning, right? You're making things on Thursday for Saturday. So that's one. But also like right now, I've got flowers stored in my fridge in a hydration chamber that I'm going to use next week. So you get to save more. Oh my gosh, those orchids I took home from Fresh Fest, I put them in a hydration chamber and I used them for a benefit thing that I did a week later, you know? So
That's awesome.
it was great. And those were amazing, by the way. Yeah, the hydration chamber is there to boost the moisture as much as possible. And then in my mind, the crowning glory is there to trap it in after you put it in there. Yeah. So they work together.
I do know a lot of florists use both. They will spray with crown and glory at the end, and they spray with crown and glory in the beginning to trap, and then spray with finishing touch at the end.
That makes sense. The name.
I don't think that doesn't make sense to me though, because
but this is what I've been seeing on the Facebook. But yeah, a lot of it doesn't make sense to me. But it's about trial. To me, a lot of floristry is about trial and see what works. Like we had a product called Rose Pro, and it worked for hydrangeas, like amazing for hydrangeas. So it all depends, because a lot of these flowers are related, and it really is all dependent on where you are and what you're using it for. Like a lot of it. So it's a trial and error thing. I see people saying it all the time, but yeah, they start with finishing touch. No, crown and glory to seal, and then they spray with finishing touch at the end, because I don't know if it's a marketing thing where people think that finishing touch is for the end.
Yeah, they might think that, but yeah, I always thought that finishing touch was for flowers that are going to be displayed in water. And crown and glory is there to trap in moisture that's in the flower. So
which would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you're doing a big wedding and you've got like elevated hydrangea arrangements or whatever, hitting it with finishing touch before you send it, that was kind of the use. But primarily I keep finishing touch in the studio. I usually keep crown and glory in the studio and not finishing touch, because
so is for floral arrangements, and then the other one is more for boutonnieres or corsages and stuff. Yeah.
I saw a video last night on the hydration chamber from Kalma.
Ellie. Nice.
She learned it. She learned it from her.
Yeah.
She was foraging for something, and she put it in a hydration chamber afterwards.
Yeah. Use it at home. Like if you bring, I love cilantro, but if you bring cilantro home from the grocery store and you don't wet it and clean it and put it in a Ziploc, it's like done in a day. But if you wet it, if you wash it right away with cold water and then put it with paper towel into a Ziploc, you can have it for like 2 weeks. It's a hydration chamber.
It's an amazing thing with water and produce and flowers.
Yeah.
It works. It kind of works.
Some people even add salt to the water that they use to spray to create the hydration chamber, to create even more of that trap. So
get out.
Yes. I'm telling you, when you say go down the rabbit hole, this is the stuff I love to read about, because I'm like, how did they think about trying this? You know what I mean? Like, what made you try? Or at least to me, it's you're gambling, right? It depends. There's a lot of people, I guess a lot of people try things a lot more than I would think. I don't try it enough, I guess, like research.
Yeah. I think if you're a wedding florist, after every wedding, you have leftovers. Either your arrangements come back or you have stuff you didn't sell or whatever. So that's an opportunity every week to test, So just chuck some stuff in the hydration chamber, see how long it lasts. You're going to be amazed.
Don't test the finished bouquets on, don't try those right away.
Right.
Ryan knows me. Like, I'm such a, I would have to do it for that moment. And then I would be like, oh, let me experiment. And that's not the right time to experiment. You're right. You would have to slowly, I can see Sue with her book, this is what works.
I do a ton of testing. Yeah. I'm not the best scientific reporter, but I test and I'm like, okay, it worked. I just trust me, it worked. But also testing side by side things in direct sun that are sprayed with crown and glory as opposed to not. I did a bunch of those tests, and it really is impressive.
It also works better on things that don't have hairs, little hairs on them, because the little hairs will then hold too much. So you're looking at sometimes the Gerbers get a little brown if you put too much of the crown. There's a lot to go down there. That we should continue this conversation. I want to start a whole blog to see who listens to me. Nobody.
Hey, I mean, these questions,
Go for
like
it.
my number one question, like if you look at when my SEO person and I talk, number one is hydration chamber, like constantly for years. So
if you Google hydration chamber, your name comes up a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we have like a special Tupperware like that's like specific for this? Like it's got like layers inside of it, you know, something's got something like panels so you can easily switch them out and pull them out. You don't have to take one at a time, you take the whole tray out.
Yeah, my husband was like, oh my gosh, you need to do this. So a couple of years ago, he did some research about even having like a gauge on the side that like has the humidity, like measures the humidity. And I mean,
I would just think the shipping of that, because it would be a dim box, like such a big, you know, a box within a box. It's just a pain in the butt. But I think, Ryan's onto it. There's so many, Sue. Well, first of all, we need to get your satchel, your toolkit. That's the best one that you got.
No, that's a holster. That's a Wild Wild West pistol holster.
She looks so cool wearing that.
Thank you. That's my favorite possession. That's Wheeler Monroe is her name. She's a leather worker in North Carolina who makes those.
Gorgeous.
So I have nothing to do with that. But thank you for talking about the hydration chamber so much with me, Mimi. That really made my day.
Oh, it made mine too.
Like, do you know of anybody else teaching it or promoting it? Are you aware of anybody else doing that?
Yeah, I think people do. I think like what I recognized, I guess, is that newer florists didn't know about it.
Right.
So I just started talking about it and blogging about it and so on. But people teach it, I think, all the time. Like Gregor Lurch for sure.
Yeah.
Any Asian florists that I've seen present, will spray things with water and tent them in plastic and preserve them that way. Hitomi Gilliam, definitely. I think you'll see a lot of like master florists do that, like make their pieces ahead and spray them and put them in plastic bags to store them while they're working.
That's why you were a great part of the old school, new school segment with Ian. Just because these are all these things that the new school florists don't know. They just need to learn it.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. If nobody's talking about it, they're never going to know. So it's not like one of the things, I hate going on Facebook because when you talk about this stuff, you'll get crusty people. Oh, yeah. And I'm trying really, really hard not to become a crusty old florist, but it might happen to me. Anyway, you'll see people say like, that's not new. Like, oh my God, you think you invented that? That's not the point. No. The point is if something is good, it's worthy of being shared. It doesn't have to be new to be good.
Because you don't gatekeep.
Yeah, there's no point. That makes me nuts. So yeah, there's a lot of like traditional floristry techniques and methods that are super good that I just want to be part of, communicating that. So I
think that was one of the best pairings, having Ian and Sue together. Honestly, I could have watched it all day if there wasn't an issue in the back. But we get a lot of people. A lot of people were asking about how did it go? What was it about? Or even the people that were there, like, can I get that, all that information again? Which the videos are on YouTube now. But yeah, it's just amazing. And Mike was your model, so I loved it.
Yeah, it was great. I love Ian. I think he's amazing.
What was your favorite part aside from your talk at Fresh Fest?
Oh my gosh, meeting people. I don't know. I felt like I was just in a room of really talented, interesting people.
Yeah.
So I loved meeting people that I'd only met online, meeting like Petunias. I always call her Petunia. That's not her name. A Calma Floral, I don't know. It was just really inspiring, I guess, just getting to know people in real life.
Yeah.
Well, the pleasure was ours. You were a huge part of the success of that event. Just putting your name on the invitations and things like that definitely helped us draw in the crowd that we did draw in. So we are forever grateful for you for that.
Of course. Thank you. I'm flattered to be asked. And I love Miami. I'd love to come back and see some of the city. I didn't linger. I had to go home, but
well, our new workspace will be a good place if we want to ever host something here. And then we do the event every other year. So 2027 would be the next time Fresh Fest happens.
Great.
Unless you go to Ecuador. Unless you fly to Ecuador.
I would love to go to Ecuador. I've been once and I loved it. Yeah, I would love to go back.
Sue, is there anything you want to plug or anything we should ask you that you want to promote?
I don't think so. I mean, just, I always have the online classes. In September, I'm opening up enrollment for the virtual studio. So keep your eye out for that.
Okay.
Every month, I kind of do a class sale. I like focus on a topic and try to give some free stuff as well, because I really detest like selling all the time. I detest selling anytime, but it just never feels natural to me. Anyway, we do have a class sale every month, and then I go online or go on Instagram Live rather, and at least give away one technique, walk through one technique. So I have one coming up August 11th. And then like my big exciting project is the armatures, trying to figure out how to birth this new business and bring them into the world. So yeah, once I get all the pieces in place, I'll be talking about that a lot.
Very cool.
Thanks.
Okay, cool. So then let's do the rapid fire questions and then we'll get you out of here.
Okay.
Keep in mind, we talked earlier that this podcast was at one point foodie related. So some of these questions are food related. So that's why.
Okay.
So starting off the gate, what in your opinion is the best sandwich?
Oh my gosh, the best sandwich? I don't know, maybe like a classic Reuben.
Sure, that works. Yeah, it's your opinion. This is not.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. If it's right for you, it's good.
That's definitely the most popular answer.
It is a popular
answer. Like a well-made one, though.
Right. Oh, of course.
A proper one.
At the moment, what is your favorite flower?
Oh my gosh, at the moment, my favorite flower. It might be Chateau Blue Lysianthus.
Ooh, Chateau Blue. I like that. It's very, very specific too. I like it. What if you have a superpower? What would it be?
To rewind time.
To rewind it, or to like stop it and like control it in that sense, or you want to like go back in time?
Rewind it and do it again.
Ooh, interesting. Cool. What is the most overrated flower?
Oh gosh, I don't think I can be honest. I don't know. I have a lot of answers. Maybe hydrangea.
Sure. That's a common one. What about the most underrated flower?
I mean, I love orchids. I think orchids can do everything. There's so many different orchids. It's such a diverse plant family.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see more orchids like in the potted offerings and cut. Yeah, I love orchids.
Pick a movie, TV character, famous historian, anybody from time to have lunch with. If you could have lunch
Definitely with. Prince.
Ooh, Prince. Good answer. What is your go-to late night drunk food?
Oh my God. I don't do that anymore.
You never know.
Something starchy.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe like, I don't know. I mean, I'm such a like mom. I don't know. I do like cashews and some peas or something.
Oh man. Okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their thing. What kind of flowers would you like at your funeral?
Well, I would have to die early spring so I could have fritillaria. Naturally,
yeah.
Naturally. Fritillaria, I love them. Or lilac. That's like a sentimental flower for me.
Okay. And then the last question, if people want to get in contact with you, sign up for your classes, and look out for your signups in September. How would they do that?
Yeah, they can go to my Instagram at passionflowerssue, and everything is linked in my bio, or they can just go to susanmcleary.com and find everything there.
Has there ever been any like conversations or issues with the company Passion Flowers?
There's so many passion flowers out there.
Okay.
Yeah. My studio was called Passion Flower when I was a wedding florist. It just kind of stuck. Like I never really felt a connection to the name Passion Flower, but I had to like get my LLC and I needed to start doing weddings. So I just kind of chose it.
Sure.
And then people started calling me Passion Flower Sue, and then it just stuck. So yeah, but I do business under my name, Susan McLeary, like legally.
No, I because we have one of the importer farms over here in Miami is Passion Flowers. So I see that name and it's like, I wonder if they ever like approached you to ask like, you want to collaborate or something.
No, haven't heard anything.
Okay, cool. Dad, did we miss anything? Anything else you got? before we start?
No. I thought it was super interesting. I think we all learned a little something today.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the only question that I have, I don't believe I have an autographed copy of your book.
Oh,
I need to get one.
I'll send you one.
We have a library here.
Yeah.
So
We have a
would love
little
to add it to
library.
the library.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Yes, I can do that. Happy
We'll buy
to.
it. We have no issue paying for it either. I'm just
No.
As long as it says to Mike, you know, stuff like that.
You know.
With
like
eternal gratitude.
You know, my dear friend Mike, you know, I like that stuff.
I can do it.
There you go.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Yeah. Done.
Thank you. All right, well, I think everyone turned up their volume just a little bit and listened to this podcast because I know that how your name is out there and how so many people are learning from you. I'm glad that you were a guest today on our podcast, and we're very grateful for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm honored. It was my pleasure.
And I guess with that, we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much for listening to another unbelievable podcast from the Fresh Bunch.
Still getting used to that name, huh?
Yes. I mean, like, who am I to
doesn't have the same wow factor as two fat guys talking flowers?
No.
There's less personality. I will give you.
No.
There was more to, but no, I like the Fresh Bunch because now Sue is part of the bunch.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is the Fresh Bunch signing out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.